Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Team League. I am Moltrap. With me here is Kaldor, and there is Bomber. He's going to be facing off against Seal, and I gotta apologize again real quick for the misinformation I've been giving today. I just got my facts a little bit wrong. Sculp is actually a Terran player, not a Zerg. Sorry about that. But Seal is a Zerg player, and he is on the left there, preparing to face off against one of the best Terrans to ever play the game, although he's playing a little bit rusty right now in Bomber.
And we have the first map, which is going to be Belcher Beach. We have a Zerg versus Terran on Belcher. I'm really looking forward to this game. Bomber against Seal should be a good one, and NSHoSeo is apparently really confident that Seal can take down a Bomber. So the game is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. This is the GSTL. I'm Kaldor. With me is Moltrap, and we will be in the second match of today's Clan War in just a few seconds.
And rocking out up here at the top left of Belcher Beach is our Zerg player from NSHoSeo.
NSHoSeo, Seal!
There he is. Maybe they put out Seal because they want a place with water. The map has water, you can swim around in it. Is this Seal? Sorry.
You've had better.
Down here at the bottom right is
StarTale, Bomber!
winner of the first game. Bomber looking pretty good right now, looking very confident. Bomber's a very confident player in general.
I have to admit, though, that if I die and I'm reborn, I want to be a Seal.
Why is that?
Because they just lie around all day in the sun, as long as... And I want to be a Seal in Fiji. I think it's Fiji.
In Fiji?
I think there were a couple of seals in Fiji. Are those seals? I actually don't know.
I have no idea.
But, well, there are some thingies, and they look like seals, and they lie around all day, and as soon as there's some tourists appear, they show off a little bit. But they are lying around all the day in the sun, and it's an awesome life. Either a seal or a cat.
Or a cat?
Yeah. Cats are lazy.
Well, cat depends on what life you're born into. If you're a house cat, then yeah, you can have it pretty easy. If you're a wild cat or a feral cat, then
we had a cat, and it was lying around the house all day, just in front of the oven, in order to get really, really warm. And come night, it would just go on a prowl and dance all night and have a huge party. So I really like that. I will be a cat. I will be lazy ass during the day, and then come night, I'll be partying it up. I'll be partying hard.
I see. You can do that as a human, you know. Some people do that as a human, where they just stay.
Yeah, but you have to work
around
the next day. As a cat, you don't have to do anything. You eat and you sleep, and then you party.
It's true.
Okay, but coming back to Seals, and we have the hatch first for Seal. Nothing out of the ordinary for our Zerg player in the red colors. NSHoSeo now with well, they lost the first game, so it's gonna be not too bad just yet, but we'll see what they are up to in this clan, what kind of strategy they have thought of in regards to Seal. A little bit of bunker pressure for our StarTale player. Nice positioning for the bunker, but it won't do him any good at all, and he knows about it. There are already a couple of drones just hovering in the vicinity to catch a Marine. He doesn't even set one out.
No, he's just going to cancel that. Very smartly done. And this is kind of interesting. We did have that drone come in and scout. He saw the gas, and you know, kind of made him think, okay, this is a reactor, how am I going to expand? But he's actually made the expansion before the factory. So he's just making Marines out of the reactor, but he's not having that factory out earlier. So that means that Bomber's going to have a really nice economy. He's going to get that second command center up very early.
You have a bunch of Marines in the early game, but you have that expansion just a little bit earlier than usual. The Zerglings are already in position, though, to take on the SCV, and it might just die. Retreating and trying to just delay the expansion by the tiniest bit. Spinecrawler in the front, because now he is aware that there will be Hellions after all. That's what he was kind of expecting, so going for the Spinecrawler in the front and spreading his creep with the Queen.
Actually, he hasn't technically scouted the factory yet, but he is expecting that. It's kind of a standard thing. You almost just have to get that Spinecrawler. Just in case there's Hellions, because otherwise they might just run around and kill all your drones.
He scouted gas.
Yeah,
what else?
That's true.
There they are, the first 2 Hellions. Marines still a little bit passive by Bomber. Speed coming up for Seal. And we will probably see Mutalisks on this map. Mutalisks are very good. You can just bounce between all the bases. Obviously, there's also the possibility of Infestors, but usually the last few times that we've seen a Zerg versus Terran, we've seen at least a little bit of Mutalisk play. You don't have to commit all too much to them, but you can try to just harass the economy a little bit, get the map control, and then transition into a more Infestor-heavy play before you tech too high.
Yep. Now, we did have Seal sneak in and an Overlord and check out. He's seen the reactor with the factory now. And he's also seen that Bomber is making Marauders. So it looks like Bomber's going to go probably for some kind of an early push here with Marauders and Hellions before there's any chance of Mutas. The Marauders will deal with any Roaches and Banelings. The Hellions will be there in case of Zerglings.
Polt has been using a strategy with the two-base Marauder and Hellion attack, and it's actually kind of interesting because what you do is you attack with roughly 6 Marauders. You have like 11 Hellions at the point in time, and when you attack, it just hits this particular timing when your opponent is just in the process of building the Spire, and if you're not prepared for it, then you will die. I've seen Polt use it against players like Dimaga, for example, and it worked like a charm. The problem for Bomber now is that his opponent scouted it already. Seal scouted it, he reacted immediately by throwing down not only the Baneling nest, but also getting a couple of Spine Crawlers. Yeah. And Spine Crawlers and Banelings are units that will counter this push just so easily. So I'm really excited to see if Bomber is trying to go through with it.
Yeah, and really the main point is he just needs to have units instead of trying to tech. And so this is why we see his lair is going up just now, but it's very late, but he's gotten a macro hatch up so he can produce a lot of units. And if he'd been caught teching or trying to get a third, then this would be really deadly, but instead he's playing a little bit more defensive about it now that he's scouted it. So very smart by Seal.
Bomber, on the other hand, is not going through with the push. He is now transitioning into a starport, another one, and he has a third base coming up. So he just built a few Marauders and is not committing all too much to this push, so he can still have a follow-up. He's prancing around with his units, just showing them, and might scan ahead in order to get a quick idea of what's happening at the ramp. And I don't think that he will go for an all-out attack because he has to be aware that Seal is in a position where he can defend against him.
Yeah, he hasn't actually checked up that ramp yet, but he can kind of assume, based on the fact that he knows he got scouted. Now he does actually scan and just take out some creep tumors. He sees those Spine Crawlers burrowing, but doesn't decide to make a move on them.
No, he's not going to attack. It would be suicide to attack. He's just delaying his opponent's third now. It's just forcing him to build more units than he actually would. We have Seal now with a lot of Zerglings. He's getting Baneling speed, just now building the Spire for his Mutalisk play. But Bomber, he did well so far. He has a nice army, but
oh no! Bomber was not paying attention for a moment, and his forces got surrounded and obliterated by the Banelings. Yeah, the Hellions at least. The Marauders and the Marines have gone back home.
Yep, not aware of what was happening on the map, and now finally at the 10-minute mark, we have Seal trying to get his third base. Bomber already has that third orbital. He's not trying to get a planetary fortress. He will just fly the orbital over to his expansion spot, and then we will see him take another base on 53 harvesters against 61. And the Spire is about to finish.
Now Bomber has scouted this new third base going up for Seal, and that's going to basically be his main target at this point. Wouldn't be surprised to see him send a drop around to the main, actually. He can send it to the main, or once that third is up, he's going to send it over there as well.
Of gas, by the way. 9 Mutalisk at once, and he will probably add a 10th as well, so very well done. And he's also getting Burrow now. Burrow Baneling is pretty strong. 11 Mutalisks now. Yeah, and Burrow Banelings are really, really awesome. They force Bomber to scan ahead as soon as the first ones are being used. He will start scanning ahead, and you have to invest so many scans in order to be sure that there are no Baneling mines anywhere.
Kind of interesting to think about, you know, who's good with Baneling landmines? Leenock uses them a lot, but who was actually able to beat Leenock when he did that? Jokji, who's Seal's teammate, so might have some info about where the best places to do that are. I mean, even if you force them to scan for a Baneling landmine, though, they're still effective. And he's trying to push in here with some siege tanks.
Very nice split by Bomber. Really nice split, but he has to be careful. He has to scatter those Marines as well. They have to defend against the Mutalist. The Mutalist will try to pick off an occasional attack. Here come the Zerglings and the Banelings in the back. Zerglings are just baiting some of the shots. Very well done by Seal. Very nicely executed by our Zerg player from NSHoSeo.
Wow, yeah, not the best splitting of his Marines by Bomber. And lost those tanks. You know, he only had a few tanks, and 1 or 2 of them went down very early in that battle to the Mutas and the Zerglings, so they couldn't really deal with the Banelings.
And the timing was perfect by Seal. He sent in a bunch of Zerglings followed closely by the Banelings, so the tanks got off the shot, and while they were still like in cooldown, the Banelings rolled in, forced the Marines back. The Mutalists could snipe the first few tanks, and from that point on, it was just a downhill battle for Bomber. But he already has his second wave coming, 126 supply for both of these players, and we have the Infestation Pit now being built for Seal. He wants to spice it up a little bit, wants to get access to Tier 3 and to the Fungal.
Yes, indeed. Fungal's going to be so good if he can get to that tech. Bomber is just now trying to get his third base established, and this kind of force out there. It's really cool that he's taking the third where he is, because what it's doing is it's putting Bomber in a position where he can defend his third and also be closer to Seal's third, so he can push on that.
Run by attempt now with a couple of units, the Mutalisks as well. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Seal putting up the pressure. Whoa! That was so close.
Wow.
Just in time.
Clutch Depot lifting there. He actually missed one, but it still was enough to deter him from running in there.
Seal will take a 4th base very, very soon. He's already just trying to push his creep a little bit forward in order to get a nice read on his opponent's movements. The Mutal is still harassing the 3rd base, but Bomber is getting into position onto the 3rd. The 4th base now being built by Seal. As we just predicted, we have armor and +2 attack upgrade coming up for the Zerg player. And here are the Marines trying to put pressure onto the 3rd. Nice defense by Bomber so far. He's doing a good job.
But he's going to get flanked, though. Huge circling flank coming from the other side, trapping him against the Banelings. And lots of Banelings land. A few Marines do lift up, actually. He saved some of them. If he can drop them back out again, that might be enough. Bomber does hold.
Amazing.
Bomber holds, and 2 tanks survived.
Really, really well done by Bomber. His split was just amazing, and he scattered the Marines in order not only to put some pressure onto the Zerg player, but at the same time defend the tanks. Here's another flank attack. This time he might be in a position where he can take out the anti-air. So he does, and now the Medivacs and the siege tanks will fall victim to the remaining forces of NSHoSeo. Seal. Job well done by our Zerg player in the game. He's taking to Hive now, is once again building new Zerglings, new Mutalisks, and he is taking this 4th base that we've been talking about.
Yep. Seal at 72 drones right now, by the way. Bomber at 65 SCV, so they're about even in economy with the extra mules thrown in there.
Still waiting for Bomber to get the first few Thors in order to deal with the Mutalisks, but as soon as he does, Seal will be ready, because his Hive Tech is about to be done, and then we will see the Greater Spire being upgraded. We already have the Pathogen Glands upgrade, so Infestors will become very, very strong. But it's kind of interesting to see that Bomber so far didn't build any Thors at all. He's just relying on his Marines in order to defend the tanks. +2/+2 is on its way. And so is Bomber, trying to take down the 3rd once more. But a run by attempt by Seal. He's trying to get it to the main base.
Yeah, nope. He's setting up for a counterattack, and he's going to counterattack this 3rd where the reinforcements have been rallied. And those SCVs are like, we got to get out of here. They're going to try and run over to the Marines that are coming back to stop this. But, well, actually, total not a ton of damage done yet. But can he get into the main? Oh, a single depot doesn't get up in time. The Banelings and Zerglings get in and completely obliterate the bunker. Bomber's going to have to bring his entire army back to deal with this.
This is horrible. Bomber was able to kill 1 base of Seal, so he would have been in not all too bad a situation if he would just lost 1 base. He didn't really lose the command center, but now Zerglings are everywhere. They are at the natural in the main base, killing tons of SCVs. He killed 30 in total, and the SCV count is now at 38 against 67. drones once more. The mineral line is being attacked. Oh my god, he's losing so many units, dropping down to 110 supply against 142.
Yeah, he did save most of his SCVs there from that base, but lost a lot in that counterattack earlier. And here he comes back and try and mine some more, and the mutants get another few free kills.
7 to be exact. 8 SCV, 9 SCV, 9 additional SCVs die. His economy is crippled now, relying a lot on mules. We still have a bunch of Zerglings in the main base.
Yeah, he had burrowed those in the main there just to be annoying, and he still has a few there actually that he might unburrow later. Wow, so Seal really playing really well, but he hasn't managed to kill those command centers. He hasn't killed all the SCVs, but here comes another attack though. The Banelings rolling in, the tanks were not sieged up, and oh, everything explodes in green acid.
Fighting on creep is always a bad idea. He didn't kill the tumors, he didn't even try to, and he was not able to siege up just in time. Now we have Ultra-Illus Cavern and the Greater Spire researched for NSHoSeo Seal, but he does not get Adrenal Glands. I'm a little bit thrown off by it because he is using so many links. He has been using tons of them throughout the game. Finally, there it is, Adrenal Glands as well. He certainly can afford it. Just in a beautiful position, NSHoSeo Seal.
Yep, we already have 2-2 by the way for those Marines, so the Zerglings are just trying to catch up in that, but as long as your Zerglings are about even, then you're going to be able to do okay with Marines against Zerglings. Here we come, Zerglings and Banelings rolling in here, and where is Bomber's army? He doesn't have one. What he does have is trying to take out this 4th base of Seal, trying to counterattack, and it looks like the reinforcement Marines will get cleaned up, and Seal's going to push in with a few Lings into the main area, but at the same time, Bomber counterattacking up here, taking out a hatchery.
The strategy of NSHoSeo to place Seal on a Belcher Beach apparently pays off. 113 supply against 70. And in regards to the harvest account, we have 18 against 63, but that also means that the army size is even. The army size is even, and we still have Zerglings burrowed in the main base of Bomber, and they are just so annoying. While the NSHoSeo player is now relying more and more on Infestors. He can use all those fungals in order to just slow down the pushes of Bomber, and that's all that he needs to do right now. With his superior economy, he can just build up an army that Bomber will not be able to handle.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is going to be Bomber's final push. He's trying to get something done here. There's a lot of drones there, actually. If he can somehow get a nice victory here, he could bring himself back into the game, but, well, Seal is actually, he's moving in to defend this. Bomber barely has any Marines here at all. A couple of fungals go down, but he's actually going to let this hatchery die before he defends it, and right now Seal is not mining.
Yeah, Seal has a few patches left, that's all there is, but Bomber only with his last base. Seal is waiting for the Ultralisk. He's going for an Ultralisk now, +2 armor is about to finish.
Yeah, he does have one Ultralisk on the map, actually, that's all, just the one.
He needs to be really careful. He needs to win the next fight. He played very well so far, but if he allows Bomber to continue mining while he doesn't have a 3rd base, then Bomber might be able to turn the tags.
Yeah, exactly. He's still about 20 supply ahead, Seal that is, but, you know, like you said, if Bomber's mining and he's not, then Bomber's producing units and he's not, then Bomber's getting...
The problem is
back in it.
Bomber's army supply is on 80 against 55 for Seal, so he might be ahead in supply, but that's a lot of drones as well.
That's true. Yeah, because Bomber has 18 SCVs, so... Oh, a nice little infested Terran attack over here. I don't think it's going to be too effective, though. He's going to be able to...
Yeah, I don't
He's going to kill a factory and a couple depots.
I don't agree with this.
No, that was a waste of all that energy.
Yeah, exactly. He could have used it in order to kill the army, in order to place a couple of fungals, or at least try to take down his opponent's SCVs at the 3rd.
Yeah, if he'd attacked the 3rd, maybe that would have been effective, but...
Seal is actually about to lose this game. If
he's going to throw it away.
Like this, he will throw away the match.
He's trying to rebuild that hatchery at the top right. He's got almost 60 drones distance mining that 3rd. But he is barely mining right now. His income is actually at less than 400, about 400 minerals a minute.
I can't believe that Seal let that opportunity slip. He has now 9 Infestors. A lot of them have still enough energy to cast a couple of fungals. Here's the army of Bomber just trying to save this base, but I have to say that Bomber is playing this really well now, while Seal just threw away a match.
Look at those infestors chilling in the bottom of Bomber's base. Oh, they're actually moving into action now. Nope, never mind. They were just moving, but they're not actually doing anything yet. He's thinking about doing something with those infestors.
Ladies and gentlemen, StarTale Bomber has 120 army supply against 60.
Wait, no, it's okay. Seal is making a second Ultralisk. He's going to have 2 of them.
Oh, well.
To go with his...
Oh, beautiful! Nice! That's, of course, something that Seal can do in order to diminish the numbers of StarTale Bombers Marine.
Yeah, but
once again, a lot of infested Swarm Eggs. Wow, that's a ton of them.
But what is he going to do with them?
He's taking down the SCVs if he's lucky enough to survive. No, he's not.
Nope.
At the same time, the main fight at the third is starting, and this time Seal has to defend. If he wants to take this game, he has to defend. He's ahead in overall supply, but will the Ultralisk speed up? Siege tanks in the back are getting off one shot after another. The Marines step in again.
Going for the... Oh, they cannot get fungal, though. He cannot lose that group of Marines.
Mana
Mule dropping down from Bomber. He loves to do that. The third goes down again. Seal again has lost any economy he has. He can't even distance mine anymore. He's trying to distance mine from the other location in the bottom left now. And Bomber has just taken a huge, huge lead. It looked as if Seal had this game in the bag, but Bomber never really lost the core of his economy. He always saved enough SCVs. He always saved his orbitals that he was able to get back into this. Another infested Terran attack going on down there. It's going to take out a couple barracks, and I really feel like he hasn't been accomplishing enough with these infestors.
After this run by, he should have been in a position where he was able to just do a little bit of pressure. I am not quite sure if using all that money on the Ultralisk was really the best decision. And without the anti-air, maybe with Broodlords, he would have been in a position to defend his third. Now Bomber just has such a dominant position in this game that he's stimming up the ramp. Beautiful fungal!
Oh, wow. Huge fungal, but only the one. If he got 2 fungals off, he could... Well, actually, another fungal could kill, like, that entire army.
The army's in an awful shape.
Oh, the infestor pops out!
Fungal!
Fungal it! Oh, no! Seal not paying attention to that infestor had a chance to kill, like, 3/4 of Bomber's army. I don't think it would matter at this point, to be honest with you, but that would have been pretty awesome regardless. And Seal has just thrown this game away. Bomber has done a brilliant comeback, holding on with the last...
But Bomber lost most of his SCVs. He's now down to 6 SCVs. There was another attack at the third.
Oh, wow, you're right.
The third is taken out. We haven't seen that on screen.
I'm sorry, I missed that as well.
We have still a 20 supply lead for StarTale Bomber. He has a huge army. He doesn't have any harvesters, though. It shouldn't make a difference, as right now we have not a single mining base for NSHoSeo Seal. But he tries to make good use of his infestors, and he has a lot of them. He has 10 infestors.
There's actually not a single mining base for Bomber either, though.
Yeah.
And he has 6 SCVs remaining. Wow, I did not see... I'm sorry, I missed that as well. I did not see that attack at the third.
One thing that you can't see on screen right now is that the army of Bomber is in an awful shape. Most of the Marines are down to half of their health, and he does not have the energy on the medivacs. So if there would be another 1 or 2 fungals, all the Marines would die in an instant.
Oh, he has 2 new medivacs out, so he's going to heal up a lot of those, luckily. But yeah, Bomber is trying to find a spot for that last orbital. He actually... Those infestors that were in the bottom killing barracks, they actually killed the main command center as well. So he only has 1 orbital left. It's at 600 health. This is actually... Okay, well, I was calling victory for Bomber, but now it appears that Seal has somehow gotten himself back into it, and Bomber with only 6 SCVs is going to have a hard time getting enough money for that killing blow.
It will depend on his ability to use the infestors now, to use the infestor energy in order to take down his opponent. There are once again infested Terrans being used. 3 of the infestors trying to wreak havoc in the main base. But the command center is about to be placed down in position to get the mining going for Bomber.
Oh, yeah, he's going to take that top right base. And yeah, a lot of buildings going to go down there. Probably going to get that starport if he targets it down. Instead, trying to target down the barracks. Actually, that's pretty smart.
He needs to try to kill the Marines with fungals. And more infestors are getting into position of 4 infested.
Oh, wow.
Here they go. The tanks are about to kill each other.
Well, loses 1 tank, but saves a couple. And yeah, I think Bomber is now kind of retaking control of this game because Seal has been spending his money on more infestors instead of more hatchery. So he actually has not tried to build another hatchery for the last 5 minutes.
He shouldn't.
He's still distance mining.
He shouldn't get a hatchery. A hatchery won't do him any good because he can't defend it. And by the time that the hatchery actually needs ages to complete, and by the time that it's completed, StarTale Bomber will know about it, and then he can't defend it. So using it for infestors is, in my opinion, the better choice. He's just trying to open up new fronts, new points where StarTale Bomber has to defend. So that's well done so far.
Well, my point was that he didn't have anywhere he was mining. So
you're right.
It didn't matter that he'd shut down the mining of Bomber because he wasn't mining either. Now, Seal is trying to get a hatchery up at the sort of left 4th position. And Bomber is finally mining at that top right base, and so he's going to go take his barracks, float them back over, and land them again so he can actually start building more units.
That will be a little bit of a problem though, because he's losing so many supply depots right now that he will have to start building supply depots as well. And now he's supply blocked. And here are a bunch of Marines, but already 2 of the supply depots died. Another one might bite it as well. Nope, it's not going to be destroyed. And nice burrowing the Zerglings while his opponent only has 1 single command center with the energy to scan. And he needs to use the energy for...
Yeah, he can't... Wait, what the... What is going on? Bomber's... I think he's going all in for the kill here. He's floating his orbital. He's taking all of his SCVs with him. This is crazy. Instead of trying to mine at that base and build more units, he's going for the kill in one final huge attack for that 4th base. He knows that if...
the bailing!
Oh!
Killing a few units, but probably not enough. 56 to 67 supply, ladies and gentlemen. Bomber against Seal. It comes down to this attack. Where are the infestors? Where are the fungals?
He's got a couple infestors on the map. They do not have fungals. Wait, how many? No, he has a lot of infestors on the map. Where are they? They are down at the south of the map, some of them.
And we have the commands, and it's being killed by infested Terrans. Job well done, but he has to deal with the army as well. There are too many buildings left for StarTale Bomber to go for a base race scenario. He needs a lot of good fungals now. I'm not sure about the Zerglings that we've seen in the main base at the top right. I think they are still burrowed. I see small dots on the minimap, but I can't see if they are actually attacking. I doubt it.
No, they're just still burrowed there, but it doesn't even matter at this point because Bomber has no orbitals and not enough money for another one. Oh wait, no, he's building one. I'm sorry, he's building one. My bad. Missed that down at the bottom left there.
Army supply, ladies and gentlemen, 22 against 54 in favor of Bomber, but at the same time, all those infestors might make the difference.
Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. Bomber is going in to try and take out the buildings of Seal now. There's a couple infestors there. They're burrowed, but he cannot scan. He cannot scan right now. He doesn't even have a command center up. He's going to pop out and fungal those. Is he going to wait? He's waiting for more infestors to come back.
Infested Terrans just won't do the trick now. He has to quit good fungals for him, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Seal is going to lose his hive. There are all the infestors. Now he has to go for the last stand. He has to make that one count.
Oh, he's got so many infestors there. Are they going to do mass infested Terrans and try to take this army? Is he going to unburrow summon fungal? Mass infested Terrans being cast by almost a dozen infestors. The Marines are surrounded. Fungals go up as well. It's a slaughter of Marines and infested Marines, but in the end, the medevacs win the game. Seal GG's, and Bomber has somehow won the game and takes his team to a 2-0 lead, and that was a ridiculous game.
That was really disappointing for Seal. He had such a huge lead when he was able to not only kill most of the SCVs at the natural expansion, but when he was able to sneak into the main base as well. Right now, he must be really upset about how that game worked out in the end.
Wow. Oh, man. That was... I was a little bit surprised, I gotta say, that Bomber decided to just lift his orbital and go all in when he was mining. I'm surprised he didn't just try and send his army out to snipe Seal's new base and you know, continue mining. But instead he's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna lift everything. I'm gonna go all in. But it worked for him. He was able to take out that base. Maybe it's because he knew that Seal had drones and he didn't have SCVs and he was going to get outmined. That might have been what he was thinking there.
Egypt was supply blocked. That was the main reason why he attacked, because he just realized, okay,
That's
if
true.
I want to
he
build
couldn't
new
actually
units,
make units.
I need to build like 4 or 5 supply depots.
That's
At the
a really
same
good
time,
point.
I only have 7 or 8 SCVs. It will take ages for me to get enough money to build the supply depots, to get a
That's
couple
really
of
smart.
units. So
Yeah.
that was actually his cue to start attacking.
I forgot about that. That's a really good point. Very
I'm a
good.
little bit more surprised about Seal, to be honest. Seal was just in such a commanding lead, and while losing this game, he must be really upset about it. I have to give it to Bomber, though. He just fought until the end, and it turned out to be exactly the right choice. But at some point, there were a couple of moments in the game when Seal had like 9 or 10 infestors, and the army. Do you remember when the army of Bomber, after the fight, was just on half their hit points? Every single medevac was out of energy, and Seal continued to throw down infested Swarm Eggs the entire time. Of course, if you unburrow the infestors, you will be in a position where you might lose 1 or 2 of them, and they are really precious at the end of the game. But I feel like if he would have cast at least 2 of the fungals, if 2 fungals would have been successful, it would have been worth losing half of his infestors.
Yeah, there was that one point when he had Infestor had popped out, and he wasn't paying attention to it when it finished building.
Yeah.
All he had to do was grab it as soon as it spawned, fungal that army, he would have killed 24 Marines. Easy. Since there was just that one empty medevac trying to heal up all those Marines that had taken a fungal growth. That was, such a juicy target that he missed out on.
Yeah, there was one busy medevac. That was really... I liked his
All right, so who are they going to send out next, though? Are they going to send out another Zerg, or are they going to send out maybe one of their more powerful players like Sage?
I think we're going to see a Protoss player now.
And we are, in fact, going to see Sage coming out. Trying to throw Bomber off.
Is not going as planned for NSHoSeo.
No.
StarTale is playing really well so far in this best of 9. We have StarTale Bomber taking already down 2 of his opponents. And, well, now it's a Protoss player that has to succeed against Bomber in a Protoss versus Terran, and the map is going to be Metropolis.
Yes, indeed. And a little interesting. I mean, I don't know who else they're really going to send out at this point besides Sage, but, you know, Bomber has sick Terran versus Protoss. He has, I'm going to double check in a minute here, but I think he has something like a 70% win rate versus Protoss. Could be even higher. He is so good at the matchup. Now, again, Bomber hasn't been playing his best lately, so I'm not sure how it's going to go now, but he used to have the best, definitely top 3 TVP in the world. Definitely top 3. He actually told me himself once. I asked him how his TVP was, and he said, "Oh, I'm the best." And he said it casually. It wasn't even like a boast. It was just like, "Oh, I'm actually just kind of the best at it."
Pulling an Aniwa.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna find out though if Sage can do the trick. Sage is a very strong Protoss player as well, so anything can happen here. The map, as you mentioned, is Metropolis. Maybe he has something planned.
There they are, our 2 players to the right. Once again, StarTale Bomber, he's in a really good position now. He already took down 2 of his opponents. The strategy of StarTale is working very well. Metropolis is going to be the map where NSHoSeo Sage is trying to take down the opposing Terran. Will he be able to do it, though?
Yes, indeed. And yeah, we're going to find out pretty soon, of course. Bomber is very strong, but Sage is going to bring it to him. The game has begun. It is loading now. We're going to find out if NSHoSeo can somehow come back in this match. They're down 2 games. If they lose this, they will be in a horrible 3-0 deficit. Sage needs to win this game and shut down the win streak of Bomber. Will it happen? We'll find out right now.